star treatment, win passes to 3 great summer movies from Paramount Pictures. Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise, Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours, and Ghost with Patrick Swayze. And qualify for Friday night's drawing of a trip for 2 to be a star at Universal Studios Hollywood, home of Jaws, King Kong, and Earthquake. Transportation provided by U.S. Air, official airline of Universal Studios Hollywood. Tune into E20 and watch for the star to appear. Call into the special contest phone number and be one of the first 20 callers to win. Next week at 8 on DC20 WDCA-TV.
The Waldorf Astoria, America's address for business and play. The Waldorf Astoria, in the heart of New York City. Shopping at America's finest stores. New York's famous sign is all around you. The Waldorf Astoria, surrounded by all there is and do in America's most unusual city. The Waldorf Astoria. For reservations, call 21355. Call 212-355-3000.
Welcome to Lumina Sedan. It has been designed with care for you and yours.
Listen to the heartbeat.
With rear doors that open wide, plenty of room for the family to enjoy. And even Scotchgard fabric protector comes standard. The family Lumina Sedan. When it comes to new ideas, nobody's winning like.
The heartbeat of America. That's today Chevrolet.
When you work at it, you get good. When you do it every day, you get better. It's called consistency. Success is often measured by how much you play. If you don't play, you can't win. Don't miss your chance to win $500 playing your favorite 3-digit number or $5 grand playing your favorite 4-digit number. Because you never know when it's your lucky day. DC Lucky Numbers and DC4, both from the DC Lottery.
And we're back live here on WDCA TV 20 Sports. Coverage of Washington Capitals playoff hockey. After 2 periods of play, Caps lead it by a score of 1-0. A goal by Kelly Miller. They lead in the series 3-1. Welcome back. I'm Jeffrey Murnau, WDCA TV studios, and a pleasure to welcome one of the all-time greats for the New York Rangers, Hockey Hall of Famer Rod Gilbert. Rod, nice to have you here on our Washington telecast and your impressions of the hockey game.
We're seeing hockey at its best here. The Capitals seems a little bit domineering here, and as the past games, you know, like that they played the Rangers in Washington, I think that after the first defeat that they were subjected here, like 7-3 against the Rangers, I saw a tremendous change into their attitude, and even by losing Dino Ciccarelli. But they're strong. They're, you know, if they go, the Rangers had a good team, and they're getting a little tired right now on defense. Roachford and Patrick and Muller, you know, and the size of Washington is what impresses me like right now. And they're coming at the Rangers. And what about the surprise of Druce? I mean, scoring all these goals against, you know, having such a mediocre season or whatever, scoring 8 goals. But the Rangers, like Mike Liut, played really bad here the first game. And you know the quality of a goaltender that he is. And for some reason, he just picked it up again. And the Rangers had 4 or 5 good chances here, like during this late second period. So Washington should be prepared, if by some chance that they beat the Rangers, to go a long way. They'll be meeting Boston, obviously, which they play tonight, or Montreal. But I'm not giving up on the Rangers because it's 1-0, and Van Beesbrook made some unbelievable saves. So this is playoff hockey, and it's rough out there, and I'm sure that your viewers are enjoying it.
All right, Rod, nice of you to join us, and maybe a little bit later on we can talk to you again.
Sure, certainly.
Rod Gilbert, Hockey Hall of Famer, joining us here on WDCA. We'll continue with our second intermission in just a moment.
Advantage Jeep vehicles. Others copy, none compare. Advantage Eagle. New looks in performing art. Advantage Savings. Guaranteed cash back on Jeep Cherokees. New Eagle Premieres. Hot new Eagle Talons. And Jeep Wranglers. During the Guaranteed Advantage Sellathon, the only advantage you don't have is time.
See your National Capital Area Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
It began as a game. It turned into a battle. And now, it's out of control. January 28th. This time, it's war.
One airline has had the best record for on-time dependability for as long as records have been kept. American Airlines. And when an airline runs on time, it tells you that schedules are reliable, maintenance is impeccable, and that one airline is committed to being the very best. American Airlines, the on-time machine.
Punk rock? Classic rock. Slippery rock? Classic rock. Piece of the rock? Classic rock. Scotch on the rocks? Classic rock. Moon rock. There's all kinds of rock, but classic rock is 105.9 WCXR.
For over 30 years, Northern Virginia has had one solid, sound financial choice, and that's carved in stone. Providence Savings, the solid choice. We're back live here at Madison Square Garden in New York. 2 periods of play here in Game 5. The Washington Capitals leading the series 3-1, and lead on the scoreboard 1-0 after the first 40 minutes. Jeff Rimmer back with our analyst tonight, Dino Ciccarelli, doing an outstanding job. And Dino, your impressions of that second period?
Well, they played a good period. They weathered the storm, so to speak. When you can kill penalties the way we're doing a great job, it's frustrating on their part. And a 5-on-3 for 10 seconds and then killing the last penalty with 2 minutes left. Again, the third period, you got to come out the same way. You got to play good positional hockey. Sooner or later, they're going to have to start pressing and wait for turnovers. And when the turnovers happen, you try to capitalize on them.
A low-scoring game, but the next goal has got to be just insurmountable as far as the Rangers are concerned if the Capitals can get it.
Well, definitely. Again, if we can get that goal, it's going to be almost impossible for the Rangers to come back, especially the way we're playing defensively. And if they get the goal, it's a whole new ball game. You're going to get the crowd back in the game, so hopefully that won't happen and the guys will keep playing the same way.
Very quickly, you were back in the dressing room. What's the mood right now as we get set for period 3?
Pretty intense. There's not a whole lot going on, and a lot of serious looks on guys' faces, and they're intense. They're going to be ready for a big third period here.
We'll talk a little bit later. Let's now take this short break and be back with more of our Washington Capitals playoff hockey coverage on WDCA.
Eastern's Anywhere Fares. Fares to take you anywhere we fly in the USA for only $89 to $223 to cities like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Orlando, Los Angeles, Boston, New Orleans. Anywhere in the USA, only $89 to $223. Now through June 27th, only on Eastern. Fares that will make you fly.
Giant knows that we cannot take any of our customers for granted. That the Consumer Bill of Rights is our reminder of what our responsibility is to our customers and what our responsibility is to ourselves. The Consumer Bill of Rights hangs in every Giant store and is a reminder of our commitment to the customer. Consumers do have the right to be informed, the right to be heard. All those issues are important to our customers, and because they're important to our customers, they're important to Giant.
Each working day in Washington, D.C., hundreds of thousands of vehicles take to the streets. Now when they do, they'll have the opportunity to fill up with a reformulated gasoline. New Shell SU-2000E, designed to lower harmful hydrocarbon vapor emissions from your car. It won't end our city's air pollution, but it's a good beginning. So come to Shell, experience the difference, and make a difference.
Washington's lead is still at 1-0 over the New York Rangers. We've finished 2 periods of the game here in Madison Square Garden tonight. Mike Fornes and Al Koken welcoming you back once again to our hockey telecast this evening here on WDCA TV 20. Well, that was a lot of pressure that the Rangers threw at the Capitals during that period, and they had a great chance to tie the game with those back-to-back power play opportunities late. But the Caps doing a great job despite the absence of some defensemen that were out of action due to penalties and injuries.
Well, Hatcher, we understand, may be out for the rest of the game. You're in a situation where Neil Sheehy will come back at some point in the third period. So you have those 2 guys out already. Then you get penalties to Stevens and then to Langway. So Bob Rouse, I thought, was just a magnificent job that he did on penalty killing. Out of those 2 Ranger power plays, they only got 4 shots on goal. That's great penalty kill.
The Rangers even had some pressure at times other than when they were on the power play. Here's a breakaway attempt by Paul Broughton.
I think right now the penalty killing on both sides is what's really been the story in this game. Paul Broughton has had 2 shorthanded breakaway chances. Here's that first one where he comes in there, and Mike Liut, remember Broughton had beat Liut when Liut came in relief of Don Beaupre. Tried to go backhand again, the same move he made when he scored the goal. Liut was ready for it. Then the next time Broughton had a breakaway, tried to finish it off forehand, tuck it between the pads, and Liut had the answer there. Mike Liut is playing dynamite hockey as well.
Time now to take a look at our Volkswagen intermission statistics for the second period, and the Caps still have the lead 1-0. The shots in the period 14-13 favoring Washington. Each team went 0 for 2 on the power play, and the penalty minutes are split evenly at 21 minutes per side. Our Volkswagen intermission stats are brought to you by your Washington area Volkswagen dealers. That's where you'll find Farfignugan. It's what makes a car a Volkswagen. The out-of-town scores are brought to you by Giant Food and the Boston Bruins, still leading over the Montreal Canadiens 1-0, and they finished 2 periods of that game at the Boston Garden. We'll be back with tonight's 3rd period here from the Madison Square Garden in New York after this.
If you're thinking about buying a Camry or an Accord, think about this. The Nissan Stanza has a more powerful standard engine. It's got more standard features inside and out, and it costs just $11,650. The 1990 Nissan Stanza. Either we're overachievers or they're overpriced. Take the Nissan Stanza challenge. Test drive a Stanza. If you still buy a Camry or an Accord, we'll give you $100. Look at that car.
Next week on DC-20 Star Treatment, win passes to 3 great summer movies from Paramount Pictures. Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise, Eddie Murphy in Another 48 Hours, and Ghost with Patrick Swayze. And qualify for Friday night's drawing of a trip for 2 to be a star at Universal Studios Hollywood, home of Jaws, King Kong, and Earthquake. Transportation provided by U.S. Air, official airline of Universal Studios Hollywood. Tune into each DC-20 movie next week and watch for the star to appear. Call into the special contest phone number and be one of the first 20 callers to win. Next week at 8 on DC-20 WDCA-TV.
You know what one of Maryland's best-kept secrets is? It's going down to Ocean City off-season. The fresh air, ocean breeze, make it a perfect place for an afternoon or a weekend. And the drive down here is half the fun. There's so much to see along the way. So what are you waiting for? Summer? Do something different. Come on down the ocean this season.
You know, this is really the greatest. Okay, movers, item 7. Pizza mover Pulaski came out with these shortcuts so we could deliver pizza just a little bit faster, okay? Pass them out, Leo, baby. Now, item 8. Last night, Gordon made a delivery in 35.5 minutes. Come on. Remember, Pizza Mover guarantees free delivery in 30 minutes or less. We got to live up to that. That's it. And by the way, let's be punctual out there.
Nobody delivers taste like Pizza Movers.
Announcing the world-class value in four-door sedans at a special price, the Hyundai Excel.
More horsepower, power, multi-point.
Fuel injected.
More power.
Automatic.
4-speed.
Overdrive.
Sure.
Stereo, too.
Stereo, cassette.
Stereo.
Really?
Oh.
Wiper.
Intermittent. Wipers. Rigid
Fogger.
More room.
More legroom. Pocket seats.
5-passenger living room.
Tinted glass.
Dual remote mirrors.
Nice wheels.
The Excel four-door sedan from Hyundai, now specially priced at just $71.99. For more information on this world-class value, call 1-800-826-CARS.
Used, dirty motor oil is getting into Maryland's precious water supply. If you change your own motor oil, never dump it down a storm drain or put it in the trash. Take it to a used oil collection tank. Call toll-free for the location of your nearest collection site.
Tonight's Capitals playoff game is sponsored in part by Providence Savings. Solid service, solid rates, and solid strength make Providence the solid choice in banking. Trustworthy hardware, the problem solver. National Capital Jeep Eagle dealers, where you can expect the very best. The DC Lottery and Charitable Games Control Board. Winning is a state of mind. And by Eastern, they're building a great new airline, one customer at a time.
WDCA's coverage
of Washington Capitals hockey is sponsored in part by the Capital Cadillac Company, home of the Capital Commitment, featuring lifetime lubrication, oil, and filter changes with the purchase of your new Cadillac. Sellout crowd tonight here at Madison Square Garden, 16,651, anxiously awaiting the start of tonight's third period. Before we face off, let's check in downstairs with Jeff Rimmel.
Thanks, Mike. The word not good on Kevin Hatcher. The Capitals defenseman has played so well in this series and throughout the playoffs is through for the evening, and he'll have that knee re-examined by Washington doctors back in the D.C. area tomorrow. So Hatcher through for the night. The Capitals lose one of their key defensemen. Teams are on the ice. We're set to go. Period 3 here on WDCA. Let's rejoin Mike Fornes and Al Coker.
You can hear the crowd. Most of them were on their feet cheering the New York Rangers as they were tapping the pads of John Van Beesbrook in preparation for what could be their final 30 minutes of the 1989-90 hockey, 20 minutes of the 1989-90 hockey season. And it's an amazing situation right now with the Washington Capitals playing so well, nursing this 1-0 lead. And we know that next goal of this hockey game, Mike, is going to tell probably most of the story.
Well, the Caps can do a lot by getting that first one, and if they get it early here, they'll again take this crowd out of it. Because right now, this crowd very much a part of keeping these Rangers going. They have lost 2 players in this game due to injury. Washington has lost Kevin Hatcher. 1-0 the score, and we're underway with the final 20 minutes of this contest and what may be the last 20 minutes of the series. The puck back inside the Washington zone, and here's Kissio in the corner. And played to the point, kept in there. Now here's a shot blocked by Liut from Rochefort. Out of that comes Scott Stevens, and he leads it out to center ice. Mike Ridley back to the Ranger blue line. Caps changing up on the fly. Here comes Kissio into the Washington zone. Cleared into the corner. Miller bats it back to center. And Moeller throws a pass rink wide now for Greshner. Out to center ice. Here's Bernie Nichols back inside the Washington zone. Stop behind the net. Johansson up the boards, and it gets away from Moeller and comes all the way back inside the New York Rangers zone. Bruce in to tie up in the corner. The puck cleared on the right wing. And here comes Moeller ahead to center ice. He gives to Gartner. Gartner across the line. Wrist shot. Caught by Liut. Feeds it into the corner now for Courtnall. Throws it behind the net. It's taken by Erickson off the back of the goal. Over to Nichols. Nichols centering it. And a save by Liut. Rebound is loose. Oh, and a shot wide from Erickson. Now on the backboard. Johansson jams up. It's cleared to the point. Rochefort a drive. He scores! The puck was deflected into the net, but it will count. The game is tied at 1.
You see Mike Liut not back because of the traffic, but what a great job the Rangers have done. Jan Erickson robbed twice there by Mike Liut. That third attempt shot wide, but the Rangers keep the puck alive. Now they'll come back up to the point. Rochefort holds it in as the Caps forwards were all back trying to help. Look at that flipping puck. Deflecting off traffic. Mike Liut falling back in towards the net. And this crowd is going nuts as the Rangers have done what they needed to do. Tie this hockey game and tie it early.
Time of the goal, 1:47 of the third period. 1-1 the score. Here's Ridley tossing it rink wide for Bob Joyce. Now John Tucker ties up. And we have a penalty call coming for elbowing, and this is against the Rangers. The Caps will come out of it with a power play.
To nearly 1 million working men and women, it's a major employer, paying $10 billion in annual salaries. To our government, it's tax revenue, nearly $5 billion every year.
To our farmers, it's a solid market, purchasing $600 million in U.S. crops. It's beer. And to 80 million responsible Americans, it remains a good part of the good life. A message from Budweiser.
A look of disbelief on the face of Roger Nielsen. He has seen Terry Gregson call Chris King for an elbowing penalty. At the 2:10 mark, an opportunity for the Capitals to get back into the lead. There you see King coming up on Tucker. That's what gets the call from Gregson. The Ranger penalty killers have been as good, and maybe even, in some cases, a little bit better in terms of getting chances shorthanded than the Capital penalty killers. So this is a situation where, even though it looks great for Washington, the Rangers, I think, really get firing themselves up emotionally with some dynamite penalty killing work in that second period. Let's see what they can do here.
The New York scoring play, Normand Rochefort, the goal, his second of the playoffs at 1:47, unassisted. Van Beesbrook doing the clearing job, sending it into the penalty box.
That did hit off the glass and go into the penalty box, so there will be no delay of game call against John Van Beesbrook. Leahan has not handled the puck as much as I remember him trying to do, at least in game 2, where I think he tried to overhandle it a bit. Got into a bit of trouble there. I think he's been a little more conservative so far tonight, although there he had nobody on him. Just whipped it out of the zone himself. He has that capability. He's pretty good with his stick and handling the puck.
Here's James Patrick to turn and start out. Leads it off the boards back inside the Washington zone. And Liut is there. The roadblock behind the net. Scott Stevens leads it ahead to center ice. Here's Steve Leach on the right wing. Leach flips it across the line, back inside Ranger territory. James Patrick rushed on the play. The puck comes loose. Off a skate of Ridley right in front of the net. And it bounced back to the Ranger goal where Van Beesbrook smothered the puck.
Bob Joyce in deep, pressuring Patrick. Stephen Leach then pinching the boards to cut off the clearing attempt, and he found Mike Ridley. But it's such a bang-bang play. Ice very slick. It goes off Ridley's skates, and before he can turn to try and play it, Van Beesbrook is covered up. Well, the frustration really is going to feel not only there, but you go back to that second period where he had Van Beesbrook beaten, only to find the goalpost. Now Hunter comes out there with Bruce and Courtnall, Stevens and Johansson working the point.
Miller from Langway and Tucker back in the first period. That was the Washington scoring play. At the point, here's Johansson to keep it in as the Caps look for another one. Now over to Courtnall. Side of the net. Dale Hunter, checked by Moeller and knocked down, and Rochefort turns, and the puck is cleared all the way down the ice. Johansson back to get it. Lead pass to Hunter. Right wing side, Courtnall. Checked at center ice, but picked up here by Stevens. Scott Stevens across the line. At the point, keeps it in. Dale Hunter chasing the puck. And it's cleared past Stevens out to center. And Broughton is in to take it. 35 seconds left in the Washington power play as King is off the ice for elbowing. Courtnall at the blue line. Keeps it in to Druce. 2-on-1. A shot. Hit the post. Rebound. Oh, and Hunter could not find the handle. What an awful break. Bruce puts it off the post, and Hunter had an open net and couldn't get a grip on it. Here's an offside call that'll bring the faceoff out to neutral ice, and what chances in front of that Ranger goal.
The Caps find themselves two men in front of a Lone Ranger defender. John Druce, who has been the red-hot man, has had 2 goals in each of the last 2 games. Hits the inside of the post, and then again a bounce to where Dale Hunter can't come up with it. Tries to backhand it. That puck is bouncing right there in the open net. A chance again for the Capitals to regain the lead, finding goalposts. All these bounces right now going against the Washington Capitals, and this Ranger crowd loving every minute of it.
Here's Here's Lindy Ruff back to his own line. 5 seconds left in the power play. Long shot stopped by Liut. Langway into the corner. Checked on the play, and here comes Berglund out to center. Taken over by Bob Joyce in the left wing. He pushes it across the line. Joyce into the corner. Held up by Gartner on the play, and the puck frozen. Now it comes loose to Tucker. Back into the skates of Joyce. Gartner tries to kick it along the boards. Joyce fighting for a face-off in Ranger ice and holds it against the boards. That should be enough, and it is as Terry Gregson blows the whistle to stop play. Both clubs at full strength. 15:23 to go in the third period.
As soon as customers walk in our store, they smell aroma, and they rush right over to the bakery. I don't think people realize that we make all of our cakes and our breads from scratch. Every day at 4 o'clock, we have French bread come right out of the oven hot, and people love it.
To see someone come up to the bakery and purchase something that I've made personally, it just gives me a feeling on the inside that, wow, that's nice.
All those glorious scoring chances the Capitals had late in their power play did not get an official shot on goal. He hit a goal post. It's not a shot on goal. They've had 7 shots on goal during their power plays for the entire game, as the Rangers penalty killing again has been a strong point tonight.
Face-off back to Scott Stevens now for Washington. He tries to get a shot off, but that's blocked, and the Rangers clear it all the way down. Liut stops it at the side of the net, leaves it there for Neil Sheehy, who is once again available to bring some help back to the Washington defense corps. Here's Sheehy. Leads it ahead to Murray. Murray across the blue line. Fans on a shot, now fires wide. And the puck goes into the corner. Moeller leads it ahead to Kissio. All the way back out to center ice. Ogrodnik charging into the left wing corner. Sheehy takes it away, throws it off the backboards, and over now on the left wing boards. It is Nick Kypreos trying to gain possession. Here's Scott Stevens to help out. He's held up on the play. Sheehy ties up right in front, and a shot to the side of the net. Kissio looking for the puck. Held in the corner. Play continues. Stevens in to try and hold up, and now we get a whistle, and there's going to be a tripping penalty call coming. This is against the Washington Capitals.
Chevrolet introduces the bigger-than-ever four-door Chevy S10 Blazer. Now America's best-loved sport utility vehicle gives you 25% more cargo room and 100% more doors. The bigger-than-ever, better-than-ever 1991 four-door S10 Blazer. Open one and see why nobody's winning like it.
Heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. James Trapp is Chevrolet.
Great work from the Kissio Ogrodnik Muller line, forcing the Capitals into a penalty. Neil Sheehy gets called for tripping at 5:46. Look at the way this puck keeps getting jammed alive. Sheehy comes out there. Now watch as he comes back. Kissio comes into that corner, and they're right there. Mullen is taken down by Sheehy. Mullen was taken down once before that. Gregson let it go, but not the second time, and the Rangers on the power play.
Here's Moeller. Out to Millette. And Ridley works it free, and it comes out of the zone. Chased by James Patrick, now back at center ice. Patrick to Gartner. Gartner on the right wing. Dumps it back into the Washington zone. In the corner, Bob Rouse to the point. Outside the line. James Patrick has to chase it. Offside called as it's touched inside Washington ice with Millette stuck in the Capital zone.
Millette having some words with Terry Gregson, tells he was robbered illegally in the corner. Rangers have closed the gap in terms of shots. Caps with 24. The Rangers now up to 22.
Tie game, 1-1, 13:45 to play, third period. James Patrick over to Millette, throws it back into the Washington zone. Here's Gartner to keep it in. Now Rouse slams it off the boards. At the point, it's kept in. Nichols trying to center and cleared all the way down the ice by Kelly Miller. Caps changing up. Here comes Moeller to the blue line of Washington. He's hit on the play, throws it in behind the goal. Gartner in the corner to get it. Puts it back of the net. Centering pass. Grabbed by Tim Berglund. And Berglund skates ahead to center. 3-on-2. The Caps shorthanded. Here comes Berglund. Skating in, fires, and a save, and now it's cleared wide. We've got a penalty call coming for cross-checking. And this is against the Rangers, and that'll help the Capitals with only 44 seconds left in the Sheehy penalty. There'll be 4 skaters aside, and then after Sheehy comes back, Washington will have 1 minute and 16 seconds of power play time.
Well, Bob Rouse jumped up nicely on the play, forcing a 3-on-2, and Rochefort trying to finish off John Druce. Cross-checks him. Tim Berglund keeping the puck alive with his skates. Druce and Berglund coming out. Rouse then on that left wing side. And once John Druce starts cutting to the front of the net, it's chopped to the back by Rochefort. Penalty call against the Rangers. 4-on-4 hockey now.
Time of the penalty call, 7:02. Rochefort for cross-checking. Druce was lucky he wasn't injured, Al, the way he hit that goal.
Bounced pretty quickly back up. This is also a dangerous situation, Mike. Remember, the Rangers in Game 2 scored a 4-on-4 goal. As a shot hit off the knee of Kelly Kissio and passed down Beaupre. Rob Murray and Kelly Miller out there, 2 defensive-minded players, come out while you've got Kerry Wilson and John Ogrodnik, 2 offensive-minded players. Those are the dueling forwards right now for both clubs. So the Rangers looking to try and maybe take advantage here with a little open ice. The Caps playing it very defensive.
Here's James Patrick in behind his own goal. 25 seconds until Sheehy comes out. Lindy Ruff off the skates of Kelly Miller. Back into the corner again. Now played behind the net. James Patrick skates it ahead to center ice. Dumps it in, right wing side. Liut with it behind the goal, gives it to Langway, and Rod Langway starts out. Here comes Langway to the center line. Fires it into the Ranger zone. Caps changing up. Sheehy's out of the box, and Washington has the man advantage. Lead pass off the boards and cleared all the way down the ice. Liut out quickly to move it along now to Courtnall. Courtnall feeds it ahead to Druce on right wing. He goes left side, and Hunter diving at the blue line to clear it to the Ranger line, but Moeller sends it all the way down. 51 seconds to go in power play time for Washington. The Capitals' Courtnall skates to center. He's inside the Ranger zone. Jeff Courtnall flipping it up high and sending that over the glass and out of play. Courtnall had 5 shots on goal during the second period of this contest. Sent this one up too high.
Well, if there is a 6th game in this series, it will be played at the Capitol Center on Sunday night at 7:05 p.m. That'll be playoff game number 6 and ticket game letter F. All those tickets on sale right now for Sunday night's game. You can pick them up at all Hex Ticket Center outlets or call phone charge. You've got a few minutes left to do that at 432-0200. And if there is a Sunday night game at 7:05, Capitol Management once again requesting all the fans wear white.
Frozen puck from the faceoff. Caps can prevent the necessity of a 6th game right here by just popping one past Van Beesbrook and putting them in the lead. And if they can shut the Rangers down with some remaining time, and they could get the job done. Right now they have the power play for 35 more seconds. Here's Courtnall, a slap shot just wide. Now over to Scott Stevens. To Hunter in the corner, now picked up by John Druce. Druce on the power play. Back to Hunter. Back to Druce. To Hunter behind the goal. Off his stick into the corner. He's wrestled along the sideboards. And it is taken away. And here comes Mark Janssens to center ice. Now we have a whistle And a bit of a tussle getting started in the corner now, back behind the play. And the linesmen come in there. And Swede Knox and Randy Mitten trying to do some work here in pulling apart these two players.
Hunter and Greshner.
Behind the action.
Well, they had something going right at that last whistle that forced the face-off and started all this action. Once those two came together one more time, they wouldn't let go. Sure, Terry Gregson will probably make coincidental penalty calls right now. But just 10 seconds remain in the Capitals' power play. Now everybody else goes up ice. Except these two.
Washington, Dale Hunter, number 4 of the Rangers, Ron Greshner. Each received 2 minutes for roughing. The time 8:52. Dale Hunter, Ron Greshner, 2 minutes each for roughing at 8:52.
8:52, the time of the penalty calls for roughing to Hunter and Greshner. Power play continues for the Capitals for another 10 seconds. But the Rangers get the draw, and James Patrick clears it all the way down. Liut leaves it behind the net. Penalty's over. Rochefort is back on the ice and skates to the Ranger bench. Here comes Kelly Miller across the line. Miller into the corner. Backs it up. Bob Rouse's shot wide. Now Leach reaches for the rebound, but is held away by James Patrick. Here comes Brian Mullen with the puck. Mullen to center ice. Dumps it into the Capital zone. Now Ogrodnik bumped on the play, and the puck taken by Rouse behind the net, worked loose from him. And here's Ogrodnik to Ruff, trying to center, and Steve Leach breaks it up. Here comes Kelly Miller with the puck. Throws it all the way down the ice, back inside the Rangers zone as the Caps complete their line change. The Rangers changing up as well. Mike Gartner into the Washington zone. Jumps to avoid a hit from Sheehy. Langway in to chase him. Now back of the goal. Here's a centering pass off Sheehy and taken out by Ridley. Joyce to center ice. Here's Bob Joyce, right side. Berglund fakes the shot, and as he held up because the play was called offside. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on WDCA.
Advantage Jeep vehicles. Others copy, none compare. Advantage Eagle. New looks in performing art. Advantage Savings. Guaranteed cash back on Jeep Cherokees. New Eagle Premieres. Hot new Eagle Talons. And Jeep Wranglers. During the Guaranteed Advantage Sellathon, the only advantage you don't have is time.
See your National Capital Area Jeep and Eagle dealer, where you can expect the best.
Game 4's unlikely hero, Rod Langway, out there now working with Neil Sheehy with Kevin Hatcher gone for the rest of tonight's contest. Mike again, no shots on goal for the Capitals during that last power play. It's 2 power plays in a row, but they have yet to put a shot on John Van Beesbroek.
Here's Langway, a slap shot, knocked down, and Gartner held up by Langway on the play. Bob Joyce firing, and it goes just wide. Back into the corner. Here's Bernie Nichols for the Rangers. Backs it up for Rochefort. Over to Moeller, and now out to center ice, and it skims past Sheehy into the corner. Langway goes back after it, and the whistle blows. It's an icing call here against the Rangers. I'd be very wary of face-offs in your own zone at this point out. Likely, I think, that the next goal scored could come right off a face-off. It could be one of those plays that happens very, very quickly. And the Rangers icing the puck here are allowing that situation to be set up in their own end.
Particularly the way the Caps have done a nice job of winning draws and certainly jamming the net for those point men to shoot and get some sort of deflection or screen. We understand right now at the Boston Garden, also a tie score, 1-1 between the Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. That's in the third period.
Rob Murray, the Capitals' best face-off man, leans in here and is beaten by Kerry Wilson. James Patrick, long lead pass to center ice. Back inside the Washington zone. And here's Bob Rouse behind the net. Tied up on the play. Scott Stevens over to get it, up the right wing boards. And Al May pushes it to the point. It's kept in by Rupp. Stevens has it behind the goal, up the left wing. Out to center ice and chipped inside the Ranger end. Here goes Rupp after it. Flips it ahead to the blue line. Paul Broughton dumps it back into the Washington zone. And Kyprios is there to feed it to Bob Rouse. Here comes Rouse to the blue line, up to center. Rouse a 3-on-3 rush. Passes for Kyprios, but it gets away and is cleared back inside the Ranger end. At the next stoppage in play, we'll see Gresher and Hunter again become available to their teams. They're in the penalty box now. Langway off the boards and clears it to Kelly Miller. Out to center ice, Rochefort finds Mullen on the right wing. Here comes Mullen across the line. He's around Langway, cutting in, backhand shot, save made by Liut. And the rebound cleared by Johansson up to Leach. Now to Calle Johansson. Johansson to the blue line, throws it in front, trying to find Ridley. But Mullen flips it back out to center ice. Played at the red line. Here's Steve Leach. At the blue line of New York. Gets jammed up by Rochefort. Sheehy reaches for it, but Leach takes over. Backs it up for Courtnall. And Courtnall dumps it inside Ranger territory. 7:40 to go. Third period. The game tied 1-1. A win for Washington tonight clinches the series and sends them to the Wales Conference Finals. Here's Nichols. Again returning it to the Capital zone. Each team has hit goalposts tonight on several occasions. Here comes Rob Murray to center, right wing side. Passes it off Courtnall into the corner. Courtnall and Ruff collide, and James Patrick is back to get the puck. Patrick feeds it out for Nichols. And again, it's broken up and sent back to center. Lindy Ruff over to James Patrick. Back inside the Washington zone. Here is Rouse up the boards. John Druce there to take it. Jams up with Mike Gartner. The puck played to the point. Moeller keeps it in. Throws it behind the net. Here's Gartner trying to work it loose. Finds Erickson on the boards. Rob Murray helps out and moves it along. And finally it's played all the way back to the line by Bob Joyce. Capitals change up. Here comes Nichols across the line. He goes right wing. Moeller fires. Liut deflects that wide. Now Langway starts ahead. Has it taken away from Tucker. Here's a shot just wide of the Washington goal. Now another drive from the left wing side by Broughton. That's stopped by Liut. And Langway leads it ahead to Tucker. Played off the boards now for Joyce at center ice. He can't get past Moeller. Back come the Rangers. An offside called here against Bernie Nichols of New York. 6 minutes, 2 seconds to go. Third period. We're tied at 1.
Every day, it makes things happen.
Matchmaker, 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 matchmaker.
The Matchmaker. The C&P telephone yellow pages. Every day, it goes to work. Every day, it matches more buyers with more sellers. Every day, we use it and use it more.
Excuse me. Can I use this?
The genuine C&P telephone yellow pages. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
We played 13 minutes and 58 seconds of the third period. The Capitals have only put one shot on goal, while the New York Rangers they will come up with 7 against Mike Liut. So this Ranger team energized by that Rochefort goal. They've been getting some deep pressure on the Capital defense. Mullen was able to get around Langway a moment ago with a good pad save by Mike Liut.
The Rangers are playing the third period much the way the Caps played the first period. Washington needs to get back to the way they started this game. Here's a lead pass from the Washington zone for Ridley, but it's sent to the blue line of New York, and Ogrodnik takes it there. Now Ridley in to chase John Ogrodnik. Ties him up in the corner. The puck is loose. And picked up now by Kissio. Out to Mullen. Mullen turns to avoid Sheehy. Walks in. Ogrodnik fires. And a save made by Liut in the Washington net. Back come the Capitals. Here's Leach out to center to Kelly Miller. Miller across the line. Walking in. passes, and Ridley is broken up on the play. The Rangers come back. Kissio to center. Across the Capitals line. Sheehy chases him to the corner and jams him up. Knocks him to the ice. The puck lies beneath them, and there'll be a face-off here in the Washington zone with 5:07 left in the third period.
And there's some dog-tired players out there. Kelly Kissio very slow in getting up. Both Stephen Leach and Kelly Miller bent over as they glide back to the Capital bench. We'll be sure to be with WDCA TV 20 either Tuesday night for Game 7 of this series between the Caps and the Rangers, or Thursday night for Game 1 of the Wales Conference Finals against either the Boston Bruins or Montreal Canadiens. Either way, the game will start at 7:30 p.m., and you'll see all the action right here on WDCA TV 20. Rob Murray now getting another key assignment to take this draw. Last time he matched up against Kerry Wilson in the Ranger zone, Wilson won the draw. Millette out there with Wilson and Broughton. Rochefort and Moeller working the points. Alan May is out there for the Capitals as well.
Caps get the draw, and here's Langway with it behind the net. Up the boards now for Tim Berglund. Out to center ice for Rob Murray. Murray across the line with May and throws it into the corner. May hustles in behind the net to take out his man. The puck cleared up the boards. At the point, Rouse keeps it in, but fires up high and wide. Now Johansson from the left point skating in. A deflection right across the goal mouth. And the Caps have some pressure on here in the Ranger zone. Now in the corner. Rochefort puts it behind the net for Moeller. Moeller can't get rid of it. Murray keeps it inside the New York zone. Here's Nick Kyprios pushing it back into the corner. Rochefort back to play it. Behind the net. Kerry Wilson jams up with Kyprios and is forced against the boards with the puck underneath him. And that'll mean another face-off here in Ranger ice. Oh, don't forget our coverage tonight of Washington Capitals hockey is brought to you by Langway Sports Club. And that is the place to be for all the big sporting events. I can guarantee you all those TVs are cooking tonight. With this action on their screens, Langway's is located in Lanham, Maryland, right off exit 20A.
Mike, that was a big shift from Murray, Kyprios, and Alan May. But plenty of big hits, got some good pressure, and forced this face-off with 4:21 left in the Ranger end. Now you've got Hunter, Druce, and Fortnall out there with Stevens and Rouse. Randy Moeller getting a little attention, but right above the lip, below the nose.
Rangers control this draw, and here comes James Patrick to start out. Leads it back to center ice. Rouse again dumps it on into the Ranger end. A bouncing puck, and Van Beesbrook handles it, then decides to cover up and stop play.
Besides also forcing that face-off, that shift allowed Hunter a little extra blow at the bench. Certainly allowed the Ridley, Miller, and Leach line a little extra time to get their win back. So that was a big fourth-line shift from that Capital group.
At the point, here's Scott Stevens, winding, firing just wide, rebound, and it's loose at the side of the goal. Courtnall tries to center for Hunter, but he's held up on the play, and the Rangers clear it out to the Washington line.
Boy, it looked like Courtnall could have wheeled around the net and had a better situation. He tried to dump it back in front, hoping for a deflection, but one of his main men, Dale Hunter, was still on his rear end.
Bob Rouse has certainly earned his money tonight, hasn't he?
He has had such a great playoff series for the Capitals. And, you know, all that talk about the Dino Ciccarelli trade, when Dino was so hot against the New Jersey Devils, and how it worked out to the advantage of the Capitals, was really no mention that Bob Rouse also came over in that deal, and how it gives the Capitals another playoff type of defenseman, a physical guy, a guy to do the hand-to-hand combat in front of the net. That's the type of playoff goal, the playoff defense that you're getting from Bob Rouse.
At the point, James Patrick, a high drive up off the glass. Now on the right wing, here comes John Druce to center. Inside the Ranger zone. They freeze it against the sideboards, and Terry Gregson again blows the whistle. meaning that there'll be a face-off in the New York end. Well, the shots are even, 25 to 25. Score tied, 1-1. 3:32 left in the third period, but in the number of games in this series, it is not even. Washington has won 3. The New York Rangers have won only 1, and the Capitals could move on, probably with only 1 goal here, with so little time remaining.
It's Tucker out there now to take this draw against Kelly Kissio.
Tucker wins the draw. Back to Sheehy, and his blast goes wide of the net. Now here's Mullen to pick it up. Mullen sends to center ice. It bounces back into the Washington zone, and Sheehy is there to take it. Sheehy leads it to center ice. Moeller dumps it right back in. Ogrodnik picks it up out at center. Over to Lindy Ruff. Ruff drives it back inside the Washington zone, but the play is offside against New York. So there'll be a face-off in neutral ice. You know, you look back to the last time these two teams met in the playoffs in 1986. And the Rangers went to the semifinals after beating the Capitals in 6 games. And on that Ranger bench today, only James Patrick, Jan Eriksson, and John Van Beesbrook played against the Capitals in that series. Kelly Miller and Mike Ridley, of course, were Rangers. And Mike Gartner, for all the abuse he has taken for not performing in the playoffs, in that series against the New York Rangers 2 years ago, had 2 goals and 8 assists and 10 points, and was a +6 against the New York Rangers. But the Caps have made it to the second round in 1984, 86, 88, and now 1990. And the farthest they have ever gone was to a 7th game against the Devils in 1988. Here's a backhand shot wide of the Washington net. Caps hoping to eclipse the past and move on to where they have never been, a conference final. And all they need to do tonight is win this game. Kerry Wilson skates to center, gets across the line, drops it off for King, a slap shot. Sheehy blocks that, goes in the air right to the side of the goal, and Liut is there to make the catch. Led out of the zone to center ice, and Rochefort is back to pick it up. Left side now for Mullen. Held up on the play by Kelly Miller. Good back checking there by Miller, and that gave Rouse some time to move the puck to Stevens. Tipped out of the zone to center ice. At the red line, here's Kelly Miller again inside the Ranger zone. Miller coming on, tripped up at the side of the net. The puck centered and slapped to the corner. And now a power play for Washington. 2-minute tripping call as Miller was hit at the side of the net. Perhaps the door has opened just a crack.
Wow. You don't often see referees in these situations make calls like this, particularly against the home team. Miller was taken down, and the Capitals are very lucky that Terry Gregson is one of the quality referees in this case. Kelly Miller, look at that dynamite move he makes. Then when he cuts in towards the net, he makes one more move, and the leg comes out from Mullen, tripping him down. When you see it on that replay, well, that is awful tough to make a call like that. Randy Moeller right now pointing up to the clock saying, hey, there's 1:54 left to go. You're going to call that right now? But Kelly Miller's drive to the net gives the Capitals a chance to win this hockey game outright.
Well, they'll certainly finish off regulation time with a power play advantage here, and if they can score, the crowd coming alive again here at Madison Square Garden, trying to prevent that. Johansson sends it over to the point. Scott Stevens at the side of the goal, centers it. It's knocked down. Courtnall back to the point. Johansson a drive, a save by Van Beesbrook.
John Van Beesbrook very quick to get out with John Druce trying to poke at that puck. Johansson, high shot, that yields a rebound. And there's John Druce just about ready to get a stick on it in the spot that he has scored a ton of goals in this series. Rochefort paying close attention to Hunter. But John Van Beesbrook looking very sharp there. Gets the blocker pad on it, and then for John Druce, he pounds on the loose puck. Force a face-off.
Van Beesbrook watching intently to his left as Hunter leans in for the draw here against New York's Kelly Kissio. Washington power play. Puck cleared by Moeller, back to the point. Scott Stevens, a shot. Knocked down in front, rebound, goes just wide of the goal. Back into the corner again. Here's John Druce to dig it out. He gets knocked to the ice. The puck's loose, back to the point. Johansson, a drive. And now a whistle and a tripping penalty call coming. And this is against Washington. Inside the Ranger zone. The Capitals' John Druce gets called for tripping. And that ends the power play.
A 2-minute tripping penalty has been assessed on the 19 of Washington, John Druce. John Druce receives 2 minutes for tripping. The time 15:37.
Well, Terry Gregson giveth and he taketh away. Now you've got 4-on-4 hockey. St. John Druce reached out right back there to prevent Moeller from getting back in the play.
Jas Mead, Druce was reacting to that rough treatment he got in the corner, which could have been interpreted as interference.
Now this really is a fascinating situation. 4-on-4 hockey. How many times, Mike, have we seen when we have had 4-on-4 hockey, 3-on-2 rushes going, and then the other team counterattacking with a 3-on-2 of their own?
Play underway back inside the Ranger zone. Nichols to Gartner on right wing. Gartner winds, fires, pass save by Liut. Puck cleared off the boards, out to Ridley. Taken over again by Gartner. We're in the final minute of play in regulation time. Here's Stevens, a slap shot. Patrick blocked that. Now in behind the net. Gartner tries to dig it out. Brings it back to the point. Here's Rouse, a slap shot. And kicked up into the crowd by Van Beesbrook.
Boy, Bob Rouse was ready to back out of the zone, but he looked around, saw that puck coming to him, came in and put a bullet that Van Beesbrook got the stick on, deflected it into the stands. Here comes Mike Gartner. Gets a little room on that outside, drills a hard, low shot. Down comes the pad of Liut, puts it there for Stevens, and Scott Stevens comes back the other way. Then watches Mike Gartner tries to clear it out of the zone, loses it. And John Van Beesbrook with one more spectacular sprawling save on that high hard one from Bob Rouse. Have to get a faceoff though in the Ranger end. 46 seconds left in regulation. It's going to be Dale Hunter against Bernie Nichols. Now they want Jan Eriksson to move over a little bit. See if Hunter can now win this draw. He was going to try and get it back to Scott Stevens on the forehand. Now that he lines up with that back, now the forehand side again.
The draw goes to the corner, and Rochefort pokes it behind the net for Moeller. And Moeller flips it out to center ice. Picked up and thrown off the stick of Hunter by Rouse. Played to center. Berglund racing in to try and catch Gartner, and clears it out of the zone to center ice. Rochefort, right side. Moeller dumps it in. 20 seconds left in regulation time. Here's Nichols jamming up. Gartner to the point. Rochefort a drive, and it's kicked wide by Liut. Now turned around by Nichols. Nichols walking in. Kyprios holds him off. Now a shot. That's just wide of the Washington net. Nichols to chase it. 3 seconds left in regulation time. Stevens clears out of the zone. And we're headed for sudden death overtime for the second game in a row. Shots on goal in the third period. Washington with only 4 for a 3-period total of 28. And the New York Rangers with 9 shots, giving them 26 after 3 periods of play. Rochefort's second goal of the playoffs ties us up, and it's 1-1. And we're headed to an overtime, sudden death overtime session.